TCR, tray cable extra rugged, is an electrical cable for industrial settings where cables face physical damage and environmental hazards. It is often used in cable trays, but can also be installed directly on walls or ceilings. TCR wire is only suitable for use in locations where access is restricted to qualified personnel. In industrial settings, this may not be practical because of heavy foot traffic and the presence of unqualified workers. TCR wire is more resistant to physical damage than standard cable, but it is not immune to puncture or crushing. It should be protected from impact and abrasion, especially in high-traffic areas. In industrial settings, TCR wire is typically installed in rigid pipe or conduit for added protection against physical damage. This is especially important in areas where heavy equipment or personnel may be present. TCR wire installed in pipe or conduit provides a level of protection comparable to rigid or IMC installations. Strain relief is recommended for all electrical connections to prevent the cable from being pulled out of the termination point. According to the National Electrical Code, TCR wire can be left unprotected only in areas where access is restricted to qualified personnel. If TCR wire must be installed in unprotected areas, it should be supported and secured in a manner that minimizes the risk of physical damage. The NEC recommends using additional protection measures, such as cable tray cords or metal cladding, in areas where TCR wire is exposed to potential damage. The NEC defines qualified personnel as individuals who have the necessary knowledge, skills, and experience to safely install and maintain electrical equipment. This typically includes licensed electricians, engineers, and other personnel who have received specialized training. TCR wire can be a valuable tool in industrial settings, but it is important to understand its limitations and properly protect it from physical damage. In areas where unqualified workers may be present or where there is a high risk of damage, additional protective measures should be employed. By following proper installation procedures and ensuring that the wire is handled and maintained by qualified personnel, TCR wire can provide a reliable and cost-effective solution for industrial electrical applications. When considering the installation of TCR cable, several factors must be evaluated to ensure safety and compliance with the electrical codes. Firstly, determine the environment in which the cable will be installed. Is it a dry location, a wet location, or a hazardous location? The NEC has specific requirements for each of these environments. Secondly, assess the potential for physical damage. If the cable is likely to be exposed to impacts, abrasion, or other forms of physical stress, additional protection such as conduit or cable tray with covers may be necessary. Thirdly, consider the presence of unqualified personnel. If access to the area is not restricted, the cable should be installed in a way that prevents accidental contact or damage. Fourthly, verify that the cable is properly supported and secured. The NEC specifies the maximum spacing between supports for different types of cables. Fifthly, ensure that all terminations are made correctly and that strain relief is provided to prevent the cable from being pulled out of the termination point. In areas where TCR cable is exposed to direct sunlight or extreme temperatures, it is important to select a cable that is rated for those conditions. Some TCR cables are specifically designed for use in direct sunlight or at high temperatures. It is also important to consider the ampacity of the cable. The ampacity is the maximum amount of current that the cable can safely carry. The ampacity of a cable is determined by its size, insulation type, and the ambient temperature. The NEC provides tables that list the ampacity of different types of cables. When selecting TCR cable, it is important to choose a cable that is appropriate for the application. There are many different types of TCR cable available, each with its own unique properties. Some TCR cables are designed for use in wet locations, while others are designed for use in hazardous locations. Some TCR cables are shielded to protect against electromagnetic interference. It is important to select a cable that is suitable for the environment in which it will be installed and the type of equipment that it will be connected to. Proper grounding is also crucial for the safe operation of electrical systems. TCR cables should be grounded in accordance with the NEC. The grounding conductor should be sized appropriately for the size of the cable. All metal enclosures and equipment should also be grounded. Regular inspections of TCER cable installations are essential to identify any potential problems. Inspections should be performed by qualified personnel. During inspections, look for signs of damage, such as cuts, abrasions, or cracks. Also, check for loose connections and proper grounding. If any problems are found, they should be corrected immediately. When working with TCER cable, it is important to follow all safety precautions. Always de-energize the circuit before working on any electrical equipment. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves and safety glasses. Use insulated tools. Never work alone. Be aware of your surroundings. When installing TCER cable in cable trays, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions. The cable tray should be properly sized for the number of cables that it will contain. The cable should be neatly arranged in the cable tray. The cable tray should be properly supported. When installing TCER cable and conduit, it is important to use the correct size conduit. The conduit should be properly reamed to remove any sharp edges. The cable should be pulled through the conduit without damaging the insulation. The conduit should be properly supported. When installing TCER cable directly on walls or ceilings, it is important to use the correct type of fasteners. The fasteners should be spaced appropriately. The cable should be supported so that it does not sag. TCER cable is a versatile wiring solution for industrial environments, but it's crucial to understand its limitations and implement proper installation practices. This ensures the safety of personnel and the reliable operation of equipment. To recap, firstly, TCER cable is suitable for industrial settings but requires careful consideration of the environment and potential hazards. Secondly, qualified personnel are essential for installation and maintenance, especially in areas with unrestricted access. Thirdly, physical protection methods, such as conduit or cable trays with covers, are necessary in high-traffic areas or where damage is likely. Fourthly, adherence to the NEC guidelines, including proper support, grounding, and ampacity calculations, is critical for safe and compliant installations. Fifthly, regular inspections and maintenance are essential to identify and correct any potential problems. By following these guidelines, TCER cable can provide a reliable and cost-effective wiring solution for industrial electrical applications. However, it is important to remember that TCER cable is not a substitute for proper planning and design. The electrical system should be designed to meet the specific needs of the application. The installation should be performed by qualified personnel. The system should be regularly inspected and maintained. Only then can you be sure that the electrical system will operate safely and reliably. Consider the specific needs of your application. What type of equipment will the cable be connected to? What is the ambient temperature? What is the potential for physical damage? What is the level of access control? The answers to these questions will help you choose the right type of TCER cable and the appropriate installation methods. When in doubt, consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer. They can provide expert advice and guidance on the proper selection and installation of TCER cable.